Patrick is rich and handsome, and really the best boyfriend ever. I can't wait to get married. I'm definitely more suitable as Patrick's wife, right? Sarah is really cute. I also want to divorce that parasite as soon as possible. Sarah, I'll definitely divorce and make you my wife, so just wait a little longer. At the moment I saw a husband and his lover flirting through the screen, my resolve solidified. My name is Julia. I met my husband, Patrick, during our college years. And we have been together for over 20 years. When we first started dating, I felt manly because Patrick took the lead. But gradually I began to feel uncomfortable with Patrick's words and actions. For example, when we went out to eat, he would say, "It's been quite a while since we ordered, and nothing has been served yet. It can't be helped, it's busy because it's lunchtime, and I think they are busy. They should be able to predict the crowd and prevent this if they took measures. It's a waste of time, and they better serve us quickly." Patrick called over one of the waiters, and just when I thought he was going to yell, he asked that waiter to call someone higher up. And then continued to nag and be sarcastic towards the manager. Looking back, I can see the signs of emotional abuse, but Patrick was usually kind to me. And I couldn't bring myself to dislike him or break up with him. Then, when we were seniors in college, Patrick proposed to me. I got a job offer from my first choice printing company. That's great, congratulations. You've worked really hard, Patrick.
Yeah.
I was able to work hard because of you, Julia. I have an ideal, you know. When I come home from work, I want my wife to greet me with a "How's your day?" So, Julia, will you marry me? What? But we're just about to start working, and we don't know what will happen. Maybe it would be better if we both worked and gained some social experience first. No, I want you to stay at home, Julia. So, stop your job hunting, and become a full-time housewife after graduation. If I have your support, I can work hard. Please, I want to be with you. I'll definitely make you happy. Confused and troubled by Patrick's sudden proposal, but happy that he needed me, I ended up marrying Patrick and became a housewife. Our friends were envious at first, but once married life began, Patrick initially was kind. But gradually his demands for household chores increased. And his words and demeanor became rougher. What's this, today's meal? I wanted something hearty today. I'm sorry, it's just before payday, so it's a bit tough. Recently, the cost of living has increased. And I'd like you to contribute a bit more to the household expenses. Are you saying my salary is low? You just laze around at home and still have the nerve to talk back. I'm not saying that at all. After all, I'm not working because you wanted me to. You accepted it. Since you accepted it, it's only natural that you should do the housework perfectly as a housewife. Patrick started either sneering or yelling whenever he spoke. This kind of life continued for almost 20 years. Honestly, I'm amazed I kept it up for so long. We didn't have any children. Whenever I tried to talk about having children, "Do you want kids? Then go to a clinic." "I want them too." "Then, Patrick, you should come with me too." There's no point in me, a man, going. But these days, they also check for male infertility. There's no way the cause is me. Just go ahead and go yourself. He stubbornly refused to go, and I ended up going to the clinic alone. But we still couldn't have children. Recently, in addition to household chores, he started criticizing my clothing, physique, and makeup. With that shameful physique, it's a waste to even wear clothes or makeup. I'm embarrassed to be seen with you as my wife, so stay inside as much as possible. As the criticism intensified, my mental health deteriorated. Additionally, Patrick eventually handed me a divorce paper. Wait, what does this mean? What does it mean? I just don't want to be with you anymore. There's no point in supporting you when you can't even do the household chores properly. And your looks have completely deteriorated. I don't feel any benefit to being with you. That's. I entered the household at your wish, and I've supported you in my own way. Supported me? Rather, I've been supporting you, who can't do anything. Just sign the divorce papers quickly, and get out. After being together for over 20 years, I never thought I would be treated this way. That day, I refused to sign while crying and locked myself in my room, crying incessantly. Not knowing what to do, the next day, I decided to consult with some mutual friends. When I contacted one of my college friends, several of them came to my house immediately. When I explained what had happened the previous day, one friend said, "Actually, I couldn't tell you this, Julia. Patrick is having an affair. And he's been introducing her to everyone." What? So, everyone knows Patrick's partner? Yes, everyone was shocked, but Patrick seems unaware of it. So, we were thinking about how to tell you. We secretly filmed a video. Do you want to see it? The video showed a woman leaning on Patrick, and Patrick looking at her with a happy, doting face. "You're rich and handsome, and really the best boyfriend ever, Patrick. I can't wait to get married. I'm definitely more suitable as your wife, right? You're really cute, Sarah. I also want to divorce that parasite as soon as possible. Sarah, I'll definitely divorce and make you my wife, so just wait a little longer." Seeing the two of them boldly say this in public, I felt a fire of anger in the pit of my stomach, and I vowed to take revenge on them. What's this, after dragging out the divorce talks for so long? Calling me to say you have something to talk about. Have you finally decided to divorce? Well, I'm fine with going to court. After all, there's no chance you, a mere housewife, will win. Patrick came in grumbling and sat down across from me. It has been about 2 months since he first brought up the topic of divorce. Until today, I cleverly sidestepped Patrick's insistence on divorce, dragging the talks out. Today, I called Patrick to a local family restaurant, saying I had something to discuss. Yes, I'm finally ready. So, I'll agree to the divorce. Oh, really? Well, you were just a housewife, so you'd need preparation, right?
Ah.
I'm really happy to think I'll be free of you. I'll agree to the divorce, but make sure you pay the compensation, please. At my words, Patrick's face momentarily showed confusion, then quickly turned to anger. Huh? Why should I have to pay you compensation? If anything, I've been supporting you all this time, so I should be getting some money back. Stop talking nonsense and just sign the divorce papers already. You always say you've supported me. But you never actually gave me any money when I said we were short. And I've been the one covering the shortfall. That's just because you're bad at managing money. Don't blame me. It's impossible for the living expenses of 2 adults to be covered by just $500. Including alcohol, cigarettes, and dining out. $500 is just not enough, it's practically economic DV. What's with that, everything's DV nowadays. But I did pay the living expenses, so there's no need for compensation. I never said the compensation is only for economic DV. The compensation you'll be paying is for my slavery days under your infidelity. At my words, Patrick's face turned pale instantly. What are you talking about? You thought I didn't know anything, didn't you? Unfortunately for you, I know everything. I said I was ready, didn't I? Since the day you told me you wanted a divorce. I've been gathering evidence of your affair. I laid several photos on the table. They showed Patrick arm in arm with a woman, entering a hotel together. And even sharing a passionate kiss in public. There's also video and audio, want to see? How did you get these? It was quite easy. You couldn't stop bragging about her to everyone, right? Everyone was appalled by how openly you introduced your affair partner. Because of that, they were more than willing to help me gather all this evidence so quickly. It's your sneaky ways that I hate. It doesn't bother me at all if you say you dislike me now. More importantly, you will have to pay the compensation. I can take this to court, but since you are entirely at fault, you can't initiate the divorce. If you pay the compensation, I'll sign the papers right away. What will you do? Damn, money grubber, huh? If you pay, you can be with her, right? It's not cheap. Was her name Sarah? She's a model who has been active on TV recently, right? A young and beautiful girl like that might be taken away from you in no time. Trying to take advantage of me. Alright, I get it, I'll pay the compensation. After all, what I'm getting is worth more than money. In the end, Patrick reluctantly agreed to pay the compensation. On another day, through a lawyer, I also demanded compensation from Patrick's mistress, Sarah. The compensation for the money which she took from me on her own will. I didn't see it directly, but it seems she initially tried to dodge the responsibility. But when she realized it was impossible, she became aggressive. Why should I have to pay? I just chose someone suitable for me. It just so happens that Patrick was married, but he doesn't love his wife anymore. And I followed my feelings. What's wrong with that? If anything, the wife, who clung to a loveless life and made Patrick suffer, should pay him compensation. If she hadn't been around, I could have married Patrick right away, so I'm the real victim here. I want compensation. She blustered like that, but noticing that we were not backing down, she reluctantly agreed to pay the compensation. Once I confirmed that the compensation had been deposited from both Patrick and his mistress, I signed the divorce papers. Now I finally don't have to see your annoying face anymore. Well, do your best. Being a middle-aged former housewife, there's a chance no one will hire you. I scoffed at him in my mind. Then, a few months later, there was a knock on the door. And when I prompted them to enter, 2 men came in. One of them was Patrick, whom I had not seen for several months. As soon as he saw my face, he looked incredibly puzzled. Wait, you're Julia, right? It's been a while, but why are you here? Why? Because this is my workplace. Huh? But this place is. Before Patrick could finish his sentence, my father entered the room. Welcome back, President. President. As I greeted my returning father, Patrick let out a surprised shout. Of course, this is the President's office. It's only natural for the President to come in here. I mean, I didn't know your father was the President. And the President of Morgan Publishing, no less. I never told you. We've always been told to hide our status as much as possible. Even from a spouse. Morgan Group is a leading conglomerate founded by my great-grandfather. It operates in various fields, but my father is the president of the publishing division. It also has dealings with the printing company where Patrick works. Thank you for coming all this way. We have something to discuss. Which is why I asked you to come here. This is a magazine released today, published by our company. Please have a look at this article. I had asked through the company for Patrick and his boss to come here. As the 2 of them read the article, their faces gradually turned pale. Is this about you? Patrick's boss looked at him as if seeing something unbelievable. Patrick's face turned from blue to white, and his lips trembled. The headline of the article in the magazine read, "Model Sarah, a love snatcher. An affair with a man from a major printing company. I'm definitely a better fit as a wife, right? If it weren't for his wife, I could have married him right away, so I'm the victim. She speaks her mind freely." The article detailed the affair between Patrick and Sarah. Of course, the names were pseudonyms and the photos were censored. But anyone who knew Patrick could easily identify him from the article. "What, you sold our story to the press as material?" Sold sounds so negative. "I merely discussed what happened to me with someone. It just so happens that person works for this magazine." "You did sell it then? Even after I paid the compensation, are you rotten to the core?" "Rotten to the core? That's quite an accusation." Father, who had been silent until now, suddenly spoke up, causing Patrick to flinch. "Who exactly is rotten to the core? I thought you two got along because Julia never said anything. But it seems you have neglected my daughter for nearly 20 years. And now, you try to divorce her as if she is the one at fault, keeping your affair hidden. That's quite the cowardly act." "No, that's a misunderstanding." "Could you explain what exactly is misunderstood?" "Let me remind you, everything in the article and all the discussions leading to the divorce are backed up with photos, videos, and audio. There's no escaping the truth." Patrick was at a loss for words. "Well, the main person today isn't me, but Julia. In fact, I'm getting quite old and thinking about retiring. So, I plan to leave the publishing company to Julia." "What? She's been a housewife all this time and she's going to be the president." "I was never just a housewife. You wanted me to be one, but I always wanted to gain work experience. So, I asked my father for help and got a remote job. Remote work was quite rare at the time, and I was truly grateful." "You deceived me. That line goes right back at you. Locked me up at home to support you? You just wanted to do as you pleased." Father cleared his throat as if to reset the conversation. "Anyway, Julia will soon take over as the head of this publishing house. So I leave all future dealings to her." "Understood. I look forward to working with you in the future." "Unfortunately, I cannot say the same. Honestly, I don't wish to do business with a company that harbors employees with such a lack of ethics and integrity. I'm sorry, but we will not be continuing our contract, and that's why I called you here." "That's troublesome. Losing this contract could cause significant damage to our company." "I'm sorry, but that's not our concern. We've had a good relationship so far, but trust is essential." "Hey, Julia. Enough with your selfishness. Don't cause trouble for the company because of your personal issues." "Yes, it is personal. But isn't it true that business contracts also consider the character of the people involved? At least, if someone cheats, introduces their affair partner around without remorse, and both speak ill of the wife, that would surely damage social credibility. That's because you exposed everything in that magazine. Even if I hadn't brought this story to the magazine, it would have come out somehow. Does that model, Sarah, not realize she's in the media? Speaking so openly about her affair. It was bound to come out eventually. I understand you got carried away being with such a young, beautiful girl. But you should have been more discreet. During the process of gathering evidence for the affair, I found out you were boasting about it at work. Most people were appalled, but you were associating with a few who condoned infidelity. Hearing this made me think this company lacks ethical values." Patrick fell silent again, and his boss, standing next to him, apologized deeply, saying, "We're truly sorry for the trouble caused by our employee. We failed in our training. And we have given you a reason to distrust us. Please reconsider the contract." Then he looked at Patrick and ordered, "Apologize properly too." However, Patrick showed no sign of apologizing. "Hey. You are partly to blame, so apologize properly and show some sincerity right now." Despite being yelled at by his boss, Patrick remained motionless. Instead, he glared at me and said, "Julia, are you enjoying this? You're messing up my life. I married you, a woman without any distinguishing features, and I've supported you all this time. And this is how you repay me. As I said before, it's impossible for two adults' living expenses to be covered by just $500. It only worked because I secretly worked. You shouldn't be so proud to claim you've supported us, it's embarrassing. You ungrateful. Just because I let you be, you get cocky. I'll straighten you out right now." Enraged, Patrick attempted to strike me. However, his boss quickly restrained him in a bear hug. "Are you out of your mind? Attacking the president of a partner company? Let go. I need to knock some sense into her. She never told me she was the daughter of the president, she worked behind my back. And now as president, she wants to end the business with my company. If we allow her to do as she pleases, she'll only get worse." Doing as one pleases? You're the one who has been doing whatever you want. The compensation is rightfully mine for the infidelity you committed. And this situation is a fair assessment of your actions. If you're going to blame someone, blame yourself for not dealing with me honestly. Taking advantage of Patrick being restrained, I told him exactly what I wanted. Patrick continued to struggle, but eventually, security called by my father and his own boss dragged him out of the president's office. Just when I thought the room had quieted down, my phone started ringing. It was an unknown number, but I had a feeling I knew who it was and decided to answer. "What have you done?" As soon as I pressed the call button, a shrill voice came through. "You should introduce yourself first. You're the model Sarah, aren't you? Who cares? You're the one who sold the story about my affair to the magazine. After taking so much money from me, you still want more. It's because of your greedy nature that Patrick dumped you. I didn't sell the story. I just talked about my situation with someone who happened to be an editor. Besides, everything written in the article is true, right? Whether it's true or not doesn't matter. I'll just deny everything. It's really annoying to have to explain myself to everyone. It's your fault Patrick left you, not mine. Don't blame me for your own faults. Are you saying it's baseless? Despite all the evidence? It doesn't matter, I'll just cry and say it was all made up. And the public will be on my side. Between a plain Jane like you and a charismatic model like me, it's obvious who people will believe. That's quite some confidence you have there. So, why don't we take this to court? Fine, I'll sue you for defamation. Go ahead, I think you should. Naturally, I will submit all the evidence I have to the publisher. Also, if you've read the article, you would know that I'm the daughter of the president of this publishing house. What? No way, Morgan Publishing. Yes, that's right. Morgan Group was founded by my great-grandfather. And my father is currently the president of Morgan Publishing. But, Patrick never mentioned that. I didn't tell Patrick. It started as a kind of family rule, but after we got married, I kept it hidden so as not to be noticed. I felt it might lead to trouble if it was discovered. Well, thanks to it not being noticed, I am now able to carry out the perfect revenge. You wicked woman. Patrick said something similar, but those are my words to you. Don't think you can destroy a family and still live a carefree and happy life. Well, I should thank you, as your actions helped me resolve to divorce Patrick. You say that, but aren't you still obsessed with Patrick? That's why you're doing all these vindictive things. No, Patrick is irrelevant to me now. By the way, he was just dragged away by security at our company a little while ago. His position at the company is now precarious. It's a pity, considering how proud he was to have secured a position at a major printing company. What? What do you mean? It just happened, so it's natural you wouldn't know. Also, I've been appointed the next president of Morgan Publishing. And you previously published a photo book with us, right? Going forward, we will no longer publish your photo books or any kind of publication related to you. Any existing publications, including your photo books, will also not be reprinted. What? Bringing personal grievances into business, aren't you lacking professionalism? You can say whatever you like. I'm unaffected by whatever people like you say. As for the photo books, even if I don't stop them, it seems unlikely we will work together in the future. What do you mean by that? Just as I said. The weekly magazine we publish is selling quite well. Reporting on an affair involving the president's daughter of Morgan Group, a husband who committed harassment, and a mistress who shows no remorse and reacts aggressively makes for a hot story. Your continued career in entertainment might now be in jeopardy. Don't joke with me. It's your fault my life is ruined. If you think so, why not reflect on your own actions? Well, since you've paid the compensation, admitting to the affair, you might as well hold a press conference to apologize. And try to show everyone how remorseful you are. Well, including this call, there's plenty of evidence of your aggressive reactions. While still hearing her shouting over the phone, I hung up. Afterward, Sarah predictably caused a scandal as reported by the article. Initially, she had told her agency it was all baseless. But when the publisher began to present undeniable evidence, she had no choice but to admit to the affair. A tearful apology press conference was held, but given her previous attitudes, the public continued to harbor doubts, and her agency, unable to defend her lies, terminated her contract a few days after the conference. Sarah, once so prominent on TV and in magazines, has now all but disappeared. As for Patrick, I was informed that he had been fired from the printing company where he worked. It seems the company saw no benefit in continuing to employ someone who continuously reacted aggressively without self-reflection. Rumor has it that Patrick and Sarah had a major fallout and eventually broke up. It seems Sarah thought Patrick was rich. But that was only because he was spending most of his salary on himself. Now that he has to manage his own expenses, his previous lifestyle is no longer sustainable. Patrick probably sought a compliant woman to care for him. But Sarah was hardly that kind of woman. From the start, their relationship was doomed. As for me, I am learning various things as the future president. The nearly 20 years wasted on Patrick really seem regrettable. But now I am enjoying the expansion of my own world. My life from here on out is sure to be enjoyable.